ISIS is making a tremendous amount of money because they have certain oil camps, right? They have certain areas of oil that they took away. They have some in Syria, some in Iraq. I would bomb the out of them.
Donald Trump fulfilling his campaign promise to bomb the bleep out of ISIS on Thursday. Our Air Force dropped the mother of all bombs on an ISIS tunnel complex in Afghanistan. At least 36 terrorists were killed. The massive ordnance air blast, MOAB, known as the mother of all bombs, is the largest non-nuclear weapon in existence. It was built in 2003 and has never been used before in combat until a few days ago. Joining me now is White House terrorism advisor Dr. Sebastian Gorka. So, Dr. Gorka, I want to read 2 tweets from a soldier who was over in Afghanistan. He says, "I lost my legs because my government was afraid to use the tools they had and saw me as expendable. I wish I'd had this administration." After losing a Green Beret hero in Afghanistan a few days ago, POTUS sent a new message towards the cowards who killed him. So, Dr. Gorka, if this weapon was available for the last over 10 years, why is it first being used now?
Because finally we have leadership and we have a president, a commander-in-chief, President Trump, who understands that diplomacy without force to back it up is nothing. We've had a spineless administration for 8 years under President Obama, but now America is back. And I can tell you one thing, Jesse. I met Donald Trump in 2015, and within 5 minutes I knew something about this man. He is a patriot. He loves this country, and most of all, he loves our men and women in uniform. And this is why he took the action he took to send a very clear message, not just to the Taliban or ISIS, but to everybody out there who thinks that the last 8 years is America. It's not.
Because what I hear is that the previous administration was so concerned overly with civilian casualties, they didn't give the commanders in the field license to use this type of weapon. And from what I know now, they take so many precautions to make sure civilian casualties don't occur. They fly multiple drones out over the targets beforehand, and then they unleash this thing. Tell me about the psychological impact this has, not just on ISIS in Afghanistan, but all over the world.
Look, you're absolutely right, Jesse. So I can tell you from day one in the White House, I had a Tier 1 operator who's detailed here who told me the morale is just incomparable. Everybody knows that the soldiers, the Marines, they're allowed to do their job now. We've unleashed the military. What you talked about the last 8 years, think about this. We have declassified open source reports of people in theater, pilots, who aren't allowed to engage terrorists, ISIS on the ground, unless somebody back in D.C. or in a command center sees on the same video feed that the bad guys are down there. That's the 8,000-mile screwdriver. I mean, we didn't even do that during Vietnam, and we had problems during Vietnam. So that has all changed. And the president is serious in the message. You've asked the right question. What we did in the last seven to 10 days, that's not about Syria. It's not just about Afghanistan. It's about sending a message to anybody out there who doesn't take America seriously and thinks they can threaten us or our allies or our partners. That's why the president is the master of the deal.
I think ISIS got a message pretty clearly. This is kind of an anti-ISIS recruiting propaganda video. I mean, if you're going to die, you don't want to die like that, with your lungs pouring out of your skull. I think they're going to have little recruitment problems after watching that. So we've seen these Tomahawks fly into Syria, and you've seen an Armada come off the coast of North Korea, and then you see this MOAB over there in Afghanistan. Describe in a few words your interpretation of President Trump's grand defense strategy.
Very simply, there's 2 members of the cabinet who come from the same Marine Corps division. That division has a motto, an informal one, and it's a good one. And the motto is, no better friend, no worse enemy. The idea that we're going to lead from behind, which is an oxymoron, the idea that our strategy is going to be strategic patience, which means doing nothing, that's gone. We've jettisoned that, Jesse. We are saying to the world, American values, American safety, and we're going to protect and help our allies. But this isn't the Bush administration. This isn't about invasion and occupation. That has not changed. It's very important for your viewers to understand. Donald Trump on November the 7th is Donald Trump, President Donald Trump today. This is not a neocon administration. This is not an interventionist one. It's an American one that will stand up to evil around the world.
Well, thanks for clarifying that. And I found quite interesting some of the people on the left very upset at the term tomahawk missile. That was offensive to Native Americans. And then the mother of all bombs, they also thought was quite sexist. It's funny how these people think, and I don't understand it. But Dr. Gorka, thank you very much for appearing on Water's World.
My pleasure. Have a wonderful Easter.
You too.